what is a memory?
Yeah, I guess things that just, like, something that, like, makes itself aware through multiple senses at one time.
I feel like history's tied to, like, an authority that memories don't pretend to have.
Presented in this way that it's meant to be perceived as the truth.
You know, like, there's a subjective claim made to history that it's...
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay, cool,
yeah.
cool. If it's your memory, it's inherently through your point of view, and you saw what you wanted to see. You know, we could have, like, fake memories, we could have false memories, we can have changed memories, we can, like, make mistakes in memories, but, like, history pretends that it doesn't make a mistake.
Orally, like, people definitely, like, talk to each other about, like, histories, and, like, that's important, and it happens all the time, but I think that, as we were talking about earlier, like, once, like, you know, you go through your, especially, like, concerning this institution, when you go through your 4 years, that can only do so much, and I think that there definitely has to be some sort of, like, archival, like, sort of mechanism whereby people can access this, like, list of things.
The communal memory, I think, is held more by faculty and administration more so than students.
Very much so. It's supposed to be, like, our record. But it's not.
I feel like history sometimes dehumanizes society and, like, how we function.
You know, there's a hierarchy between the historian and the history.
While memories, like, add in that, like, human layer because they're from, like, a single perspective.
In that, I would probably allow things like memories and experience to be a form of history.
You have to use a lot of different sort of, like, areas of your, like, consciousness and being, like, in the formation of a memory, and I think, like, tactile experiences, like, things you could, like, materially touch and feel makes up a memory, but I think also, like, your narrative about what happened is equally as important.
Like, histories come from a wider perspective. It's, you know, like you said, it's like the white perspective. It's that one perspective. And even if it's a group of white people, it's still just a single race perspective, which should still be looked down upon and be, like, and criticized.
Yeah.
You know, they're the ones writing the history. They wouldn't implicate themselves negatively in the history.
They chose to write down what they wrote down, and they wrote down their memories and decided to give it a different name.
Yeah.
Right? So, like, decided to call it something else.
They gave it an authority.
And they get scared because it's like, well, where is my authority coming from if I'm not making the history?
People get scared of contradictions because when stories like that are presented, when someone else starts writing something down, they're gonna contradict. You're gonna find places where, like, one person's truth is gonna show that someone else's is false, or that, you know, that two, like, linear perspectives don't necessarily line up. And I think people, especially people in power, are afraid of those realities because it puts certain events into question and people into question and moralities into question.
Like, the nature of its creation, by virtue of it being a communal process, is what leads it to be devalued by people, you know, in spheres of influence like schools or businesses that don't want to accept, you know, communal ways of producing knowledge as legitimate.
Institutional memory into question, like, can we have an unbiased institutional memory? Should we even want that? You know, is that something that is something we should strive for? Like, what do we gain by having an unbiased perspective?
My name is Brennan. I'm a senior women's studies major and Native American studies and Africana studies double correlate. I use they pronouns or she pronouns. Yeah.
So my name is Joaquim Gonsalves. I'm a junior at Vassar. I use they, them, theirs, and I'm an anthropology major. I work at the Alana Center. This is my 3rd year working there, and yeah, I live in the THs.
Antoine Robinson, he, him, his, class in 2018, and that's about it.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So,